Alright, guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but this is the Mutant XPerience podcast, and we are back live in living color tonight. My guest from across the Atlantic, UK Third Strike player and co founder of Gutter Trash, VirtuaFU. Thanks for coming on, Ant. I appreciate it.
Yo, thanks for having me.
So
It's a
before we
pleasure.
start, oh yeah. So before we start, I just wanted to thank everyone who watched season one of the podcast. I really appreciate all the support, and I want to give a shout out to all the guests that came on the previous episodes as well. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I started the Mutant Experience to give Third Strike players from all around the world a platform from where they can promote themselves, their scenes, and their events. And so we're gonna go ahead and do that tonight with with VirtuaFU. So Ant, let's go ahead and start at the beginning. One of the things that I regret, because it was about a year. It's about over a year now since I went to the UK. But obviously I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend there, and so I didn't really get to know a lot of the players. So I guess we can go ahead and start at the beginning. So tell me a little bit about how you started playing fighting games and Street Fighter.
Yeah, so fighting games, it started really. I had a lot of computer games when I was younger because we'd always go over to Hong Kong and I'd get like all the copied games, like anything you can imagine. I used to have like a box that would sit on top of the Mega Drive, and I could play like floppy disks, just like copied games.
Oh
And
wow!
I could put cartridges in the box, and it would copy the ROM off them onto a floppy disk.
Oh
So
wow!
I used to have just like so many games, so many fighting games, and I just kind of like started playing through that, like just like Street Fighter 2. It's a lot of that because it was big when I was younger. It was the game. I never went to an arcade and played it really.
Hmm.
It was all just like SNES and Mega Drive. So I mean, I played all sorts of games, but I had another friend who was like half Chinese who lived down the road from me, and he was like well into computer games as well. And then I used to battle him, and that's really who I kind of like learned how to play a few fighting games against. And we'd play everything: Mortal Kombat, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, like any fighting game we could get our hands on. We just play it. And then there was like a few more of us, so we got a little bit older, and we should just sit around his house and just like smoke weed all the time and and just play fighting games like a lot of fighting games. Mainly when we got a little bit older, it was mainly just Virtua Fighter. Like it was pretty much all we played, and like because we didn't really go to the arcades and there was no like internet. Like suddenly somebody would figure out some like move like sidestep, which is obviously just like a really simple mechanic and a staple of Virtua Fighter, but like none of us would ever use it. We just like hammer like punch, 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 kick, 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 punch, 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 and then one of us realized like, hang on a minute, I can like sidestep this. So we kind of learned how to play because somebody would figure one thing out, and then we'd all have to suddenly learn it. But I don't. I think if we probably went to the arcades, we would have got our asses kicked. Um, but I mean, I remember playing Third Strike. I think we had it on the Dreamcast, and I really didn't like it when I first played it. I was just like, what the hell is this? This is like the worst Street Fighter I think I've ever played. And I think we just went straight, like after about 10 minutes of playing it, like we just went back to playing Virtua Fighter. So yeah, I mean, most of me starting out playing fighting games was really, yeah, when I was like probably like 13 all the way up to like 17, just playing with my mate down the road and a few more other people because there wasn't that much to do. Like, didn't really have any money. Like, it was either that or like hang around in a park. So that was really it. Like, it was just I had a lot of computer games and people around me that were up for playing them. So um, yeah, that's really how I started playing them.
So you got quite into Virtua Fighter before you discovered Third Strike.
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot of Street Fighters, like the EX ones and
Okay.
that. But we did play Street Fighter. Yeah, Street Fighter 2, the Alphas, Street Fighter the movie. Like, as I say, like anything that came out with Street Fighter written on it, like we were playing it. But yeah, I think the one we really kind of got really competitive about was Virtua Fighter, and we played every version of that, 1, 2, 3. I didn't get too much into 4 because I started like discovering real life outside of computer games at that point when that got released. But like, yeah, mainly 90% of our fighting game playing was Virtua Fighter, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I actually just saw it in the chat. The guys that I went to Defend the North, which is an event that we had here in New York this past weekend. The guys that I helped run the old school games with, they're from a store called iFix Machine, and they're a Virtual Fighter crew.
Yeah,
And
I like it.
yeah,
If there was
do
a
you
more
still
of an
play
active,
it?
not really, no. I mean, I just play Third Strike.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if there was an active community around or people that want to play it, like me and my brother bust it out every now and again. Like,
Uh-huh.
we're quite competitive, so we'll always be like, right, let's whack on Virtua Fighter. Especially around Christmas, we do
Mm-hmm.
like a Christmas showdown. I mean, he kicks my ass. We play Virtua Fighter 5, which I've never really like sat down and tried to nerd out on. It's literally just to kind of like battle him. So, but like, yeah, I'd love to play more of it. If there was like an active scene, I'd definitely play.
So you mentioned that when you first played Third Strike that you didn't really like it. Can you recall exactly why you didn't like it? Were there
I didn't like the sweeps. I did,
sweeps?
yeah, I hated the sweeps in it. Just, I remember like, and the thing was, we'd play it like ST. I'd just be like chucking
Uh-huh.
fireballs at people,
Uh-huh.
and then like as we were trying to like get our own fireball out, and we'd do the kind of like I don't know, we'd manage to like parry a fireball, and we'll be like, oh, that was really weird. Like I don't even really think we kind of like knew the mechanics at all. I just think we found it really really bizarre and just weird, and the problem was we had so many kind of like other options. As I say, I just had like an infinite amount of like copied games from Hong Kong. It was just so
Mhm.
easy just to like dismiss it and be like, well, I've got like 20 other versions of Street Fighter here. Like, I don't even know any of these characters. Like Ryu's like the only person I really know. So
Mhm.
I really, really didn't like it. None of us liked it. None of us liked it. None of
Yeah.
us liked it at all.
And so
Um,
how did that change? Like, because obviously now you only play Third Strike. So tell me a little bit about how I guess the love of Third Strike developed.
well, around like 1998, 99, I'm sure my age now. Around then, I like started to be old enough to kind of like go out, hang around with other people, like meet girls or whatever. So, like the amount of time that I played fighting games just completely diminished, and I kind of just got involved with like mixing and music. So, like all my spare time was like I just wanted to get good at that. So I just spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, doing that. And the amount of fighting games that I played just disintegrated. Like I stopped playing computer games really around like 2000. I just stopped. I just didn't play any games. Like I played a little bit of like Halo a bit later on, about 2005. But then like I didn't start playing fighting games again till 3 years ago,
Mm.
since like 2000. So it was only like 3 years ago that I started playing fighting games again. I moved in with my brother, and when I moved back in with him, he bought two of these really awful Chinese arcade sticks, and he'd be like, "Right, let's play Virtua Fighter." So I'd be like, after dinner, we'd always like have a little battle at a fighting game, see who's the best, just so we could like rub it in each other's faces when the other one lost. And he was like, "I've got Third Strike," and I instantly just went back to that time of like the sweeps are shit. I don't know what the parry's about. I'd seen the Daigo parry video, but I don't think I'd really like appreciated like the level of skill that it took to kind of like do that. I just seen it on YouTube and being like, all right, yeah, that's cool. Onto something else. Like, so when I moved back here, he was really kind of encouraging me to play fighting games with him again, and we did play a bit of Third Strike, and he was like doing the parry on the EX Fireball. So like I learned how to do that pretty quick, because if I couldn't do that, like he was just gonna beat me. So I learned it pretty quick, and I was like, all right, okay, the parry's pretty cool. And then not that long after I'd moved in, maybe a couple of months, he was like, hey, I found this place. It's called the Heart of Gaming. Do you want to come down? So I was like, all right, I'm not doing anything. I'll go with you. So went down there, played I just played ST. There was a guy in there, and I just played ST, and he played Third Strike against a few people. I think Dom might have been there, but I didn't talk to him. And then, yeah, just from that, like, I went down again to the Hog, and I met 3J and a few other people, and I played Third Strike. I played a few games of Third Strike. I'd kind of learned to like target combo with Ken by then, just from playing my brother. So I had a few games with those guys, and that was really that. I joined the Third Strike Europe group, but I mean, yeah, I hadn't really been back in playing fighting games at all. I mean, this was literally like 3 years ago, so that's how I kind of got back into playing Third Strike. And then I was a member of the group for ages, and I didn't even really kind of like start playing Third Strike. I only really started to like practice and take a real interest in Third Strike once I had the date for Gutter Trash, basically.
Mm-hmm. And so let's oh, go ahead.
No, that was it really.
Oh, okay. So let's talk a little bit about Gutter Trash. So where did the where did the idea for Gutter Trash sort of come from?
Well, yeah, I mean, this story kind of rolls into this bit. I mean, like, on the third time that I'd been down to the Hog, because my brother was like, let's go down. I was like, all right, he was driving, so I was always like, yeah, well, why not? I'll just get in the car with you and go and play some games. Like, so the third time I went down, so the second, I'd met 3J already, and then I'd gone down, and 3J was there, and some other people, and I'd seen a few things that were happening in the Third Strike Europe Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And 3J was like, hey, there was a tournament here the other day, and it was like me and like 2 other people. And he seemed like really bummed out about it. I didn't really know 3J that well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd spent a lot of time running events and stuff. So I just went to him, all right, well, like, I'll put one on then. You know, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Like, you know, it can't be that hard. How hard is it? So I went and met the owner of the Hog, and was just like, look, I want to run a First Strike tournament. He was like, yeah, I mean, you know, we've tried to do one and no one turns up. So I was like, cool, can I just have a date? Gave me a date, and then that was pretty much it. I was in at the deep end. I could hardly play Third Strike. I couldn't even really do like short confirm with Ken. And, you know, I didn't really know anyone. Like, I'd met 3J like a couple of times, and Kenny the Whale, he's only 12 years old. So yeah, I got the date off of him, and then that was it. Yeah, I was really in the deep end with it all. I didn't really know anyone, and I just went on a whim. I was like, well, I'll do it. To be honest with you, like, a lot of it was like, every time I went to the Hog, I always thought like how it could be done better, and like I really thought there was kind of like a lack of effort on the events front. And part of me was a bit more like, I just want to prove that like it's not that hard. Like, you know, if you guys got your act together, you could build more stuff here. Like, you know, so, you know, part of me just wanted to do that. So yeah, I mean, that was it really. It was just 3J's really sad look on his. It was like a puppy in the window, you know, like looking at me like, oh, there's no First Strike happening. So like, you know, I couldn't turn down. I couldn't turn down like that puppy crying at me, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna give it a go. And that was really like the beginnings of it all. I knew Dom had been kind of like involved with. I didn't even have a name. I literally had a date, no idea how to run anything. But I made sure I had enough time. Like, I made sure I booked a date in 4 months' time, so I had space to work with, you know, and there's no such thing as too much promotion or too much notice, you know, and I kind of wanted to, you know, have a good lead up into it and kind of figure out what was going on. So I hit up Dom and I said, look, I'm going to do this event, you know, can you help me out? You've run events before. Like, I don't, you know, I know how to promote events and kind of do that kind of thing, but like actually running a tournament, like I have no idea what's like. It took somebody like 15 times explaining to me what a loser's bracket was to like finally get my head around it, because I'd be like, what, you lose out the tournament and then you go back in a bracket, and then if you win that, you fight the guy, and then you have to knock him into the. I just found it mad confusing. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. So yeah, after meeting Dom, no, I didn't meet. Did I meet Dom? I actually met Dom randomly offline. That's not really that interesting, but yeah, Dom kind of gave me a bit of guidance, and then I just kind of like got to work on just trying to sort it out. I made a poster myself, and I think I put it in like First Strike Junkies, and I was going on all the forums. I think I was even going on like Fightcade chat, and just being like tournament, and just like putting the date out there, and just doing that kind of thing. So that was really the kind of beginnings of it. Or I can't really remember what the question was now. What was the question?
Oh, I just wanted to. I just wanted to know what the genesis of the first Gutter Trash was like. You know
Yeah,
how it started.
so that's how it started, really. Like,
Uh-huh.
I was just learning everything as I kind of went along. I mean, I want to say I have had a lot of experience in running events before, like
Mhm.
9 or 10 years experience. So a lot of that was, really relevant to it all.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I just went and was like, I'm just gonna go and give it a go, like, and then I'd always just ask, I'd constantly be at Dom, like, how many people can we have in, like, how many people can realistically turn up? I think I was just firing like a million questions at him, like, every
Mhm.
hour. He was probably getting a bit pissed off of it after a while, but I kind of saw after the event. I kind of saw the event. What the event did was the players were there because of the group. The group was really kind of like where everybody was at, but
Mhm.
nobody had ever had a reason to kind of like meet offline before. So I think that's kind of like why the first one did really well, because there was all these people amassed in this group, but nobody had ever been like, "Hey guys, like, this is the time we're going to come down and do this." So um, when I announced the date, like, everybody was well up for it. Like, the response was really good, and Dom said, cap the event at 32. So we only did a 32-man bracket,
Mhm.
which I think was a really, really good thing for the event. It meant that I didn't have too much to deal with while I kind of figured out how to like organize all this stuff.
Yeah.
And B, it also meant that like people missed out. And I've always been from the school of thought that, like, if you can have an event where people aren't allowed in or get turned away because it's too busy, that is the best thing that could ever happen.
Mm.
Because the next time it's on, they want to come, or they tell people like it was too busy. Like, they tell people I couldn't get in, I couldn't go. It's like I'm missing out, like that kind of like FOMO kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Which I was turning people away. Probably quite a lot of like some of the older players as well, like people I didn't really know that had probably been in the scene for ages.
Oh.
I was
Oh.
probably just like, nah, you can't enter, like,
Uh-huh.
you're too late, so um
What was that like? I mean, like, cause here you are, you're not, wet behind the ears. You're not really established in the FGC, and you're turning away these players who.
yeah, I think they're probably just like, who the fuck is this guy, like, who the fuck is this,
And
like.
probably a lot of them like dumped Third Strike, right, for a few years, and then.
Yeah, no, it was all good. No, I don't think it was too bad, to be honest with you. But like, yeah, it probably was a little bit like, what, we can't enter kind of thing. So,
Uh,
but that's good. That's great. That means, like, next time it's on, like, they're gonna make the effort to kind of like, it was probably easier for me to do it because I had no connection with anybody. So like, it didn't really matter so much that I was, telling them they couldn't enter. But I think we still had like quite a lot of the old players turn up. Like Ryan Hart randomly, like, just turned. Somebody dropped out and Ryan Hart just turned up on the day. So I remember going on the day. I really had no idea like how to do it all. So Dom kind of just showed me, like, oh, you choose the bracket. You look at the bracket, look at a match that you think is going to be good, put them on the stream cab. Like, he numbered up all the cabs and everything. If Dom wasn't there, basically, like, yeah, it would have been pretty fucked. Um, but yeah, on the day, and then we had all these French players turn up, which I thought was amazing. Like, the first event I've ever done,
I mean,
and I've
how did
got,
they hear about it? I mean,
well, obviously my really good promotion. I
yeah.
yeah, I think the key with that one was really, if you tell people early enough, they can book a flight on Ryanair for like next to nothing, like £30 or £40. So, you
Well,
know,
so how early did you start promoting? Like,
yeah,
okay,
like
so
4 months. Like
oh,
4 months.
okay.
It's like kind of my golden rule anyway. Like 3-4 months. If you notice, like, all of the gutter trashes, there's a 3 or 4 month lead up into it. You know, and for that exact reason, it's like if people want cheap travel, you know, you've got to kind of do it early, and I think that kind of worked in our favour, you know. So people came down. I thought it was amazing. We had French players down and that. So Reinhardt turned up, and then we had the Reinhardt red parry moment on the event. He was about to get chipped out, did a red parry to survive. But the next day, that made the front page of SRK and Event Hubs. And that video got, I don't know, like 90,000 views or like 80,000 views in 24 hours. So I think that really kind of like helped kind of, you know, put the event out there, basically. I remember looking at like one of his Capcom Street Fighter 4. It was like Capcom Fighters, so it was like on the official YouTube channel for Capcom, like a match like around the same time, which had like 5,000 views, and then you had R1 from Third Strike like hitting like 60, 70 or around there. I can't remember exactly what it was. In fact, I did reach out to Capcom. Like, this is my naivety about Third Strike. I was like, you know, if we're doing a tournament, like, you know, surely Capcom, they're going to want to get involved with this. Like, why wouldn't they? Like, you know, it's promoting their game. It's at an arcade. It's on original arcade hardware. We've got players coming from France. Like, you know, I hit up Capcom. I probably spent like 2 days, like, messaging different people in different Capcom departments, like, you know, telling them what we're doing. You know, I was like, if we can get some funding or some prizes, even just some T-shirts, so like somebody could come down and like congratulate the winner from Capcom or something, you know, this would be amazing. And I got sent round the houses, and this is my first kind of like introduction to what Capcom think about Third Strike. And I got put on to the community manager for the UK. So the guy that's, you know, he is the guy that is meant to be talking to the community and FGC and us guys. So I told him what we were doing. You know, I said, we've already got players from France coming over. It's in the heart of gaming. Nothing. Not even a like, you know, oh, look, we can't support you with anything. We'll throw, you know, we'll send down a keyring or a biro, or like, you know, our main focus is Street Fighter 5. Like, you know, really, thanks for doing this event. Like, you know, we're thinking nothing, just completely and utterly blanked me. After I'd been around like probably people higher than him in Capcom, like trying to help out and putting me through to him. And then on the day of the event, he turned up. The Capcom community manager turned up.
Wow.
He didn't talk to me. He didn't talk to any of us. He went and sat in the console room where nobody was and played Street Fighter 4. And that was it. He didn't talk to us. He didn't care. He wasn't interested. Like, not even a like, hey man, you guys, do you know what I mean? Like, just completely and utterly blanked us. So yeah, that was like, at that moment I realized, like, you know, if we don't put these events on, if we don't work for this, like, nobody else is going to do it. Like, there's no support from the guys that even made the game. Like, so yeah, that kind of pissed me off, actually. Like, yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the things that you, some of the lessons that you took away from that first Gutter Trash?
Don't expect anything from Capcom.
Okay, so that's number one.
Dealing with people that own arcades can be a really, really long procedure. Do you know what? It's like it was a really easy event to run. Like, you know, everybody. I shout a lot, so I just shout at people and tell them what to do, and everybody just seems to listen. Like, before this, I was kind of like used to, you know, doing events with like up to like 2,000 people, and I'd have like a lot of my own money on the line. So to do an event where like there's no like financial pressure and like only have to deal with like 32 people was great, you know. One thing I will say is, like, always get to the venue stupid early. Like, you know, you've got to be there. Don't turn up 10 minutes before it's meant to start and try and set things up, because there's always things to go wrong. Or, you know, you're better off turning up early and having an hour sitting around being relaxed than you are, you know, like trying to figure out any of the problems. And to be honest with you, most of the problems we've ever had with the Gutter Trash and the start times or anything like that has been to do with the people that own the venue, not really us, you know. So I mean, I don't know what lessons I really learned. I wanted to do another one. You know, after that, I kind of got a taste for it, and I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't know really what I learned.
Well,
I
you
learned that.
seem. Go, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I I actually really enjoyed it. I just enjoyed. I hadn't done any events in a while,
Uh huh.
and I just found it a lot easier to manage, and it was a laugh, you know, like, and people were enjoying themselves, and not have that kind of like financial stress on your head, like it was, you know, really good.
Hmm. Well, we definitely need more people like you, Ant. People who have like a genuine love and desire to plan events, and
Yeah,
because I think I kind of know what you're getting at. Like after the first Gutter Trash, you had a taste of, because to me, like, to me, an event is kind of like a work of art, you know, and like it's so
for sure.
rewarding to kind of just see it unfold and just kind of see it happening, sort of right before your eyes.
I think we've got a trash. We had a good melting pot of like me who just had a lot of experience like running and promoting events, and also like Demo's artwork. Like the branding was just on point. Like I think when you're first doing events,
Hmm.
like a lot of it is to do with trustworthiness. Like, do I want to like commit an airfare and a hotel to come and enter this tournament? Is it going to be worth my time flying
Hmm.
in and doing this kind of thing? And I've always said this: like, your first point of contact with an event is the design, the promotion. Yeah, before you see anything else, before you know anything about the event, it's like the most crucial thing in my eyes is like branding. And obviously we had zero budget. Like I had no money. Like
Hmm.
you know, and to have Demo, who's a professional illustrator, designer, and has got real kind of like talent for that kind of, that kind of thing. The look. And when I discussed it with Demo, we both instantly agreed, like, we don't want to do what they're doing in Japan. We don't want to use any official artwork,
Hmm.
because that's what you see all the time. You see at FGC event, they grab the characters off the boxes and all of that kind of stuff, and artwork that already exists. So like, if you notice on all of our branding, we never use any official artwork. Maybe we've used the Third Strike logo on a couple of videos, but like
Hmm.
other than that, like the branding and the look of it, we've always wanted it to just look different. And you see a Gutter Trash poster and you just know instantly that's us
Gutter
guys.
Trash.
You
Yeah.
know. So, and I think it was, I think we kind of went against the grain of the usual kind of like FGC stuff as well. So it kind of like made us. We're doing Third Strike. We're doing something a little bit different here. We're like arcade hardware. We're playing a decent game. Like we're not like your standard kind of like FGC event. Um, and then with the videos as well, like there's always a lot of thought going to everything. Like we've always chosen like music from that kind of like era of Third Strike. So like 90s hip hop, 90s jungle. We've always gone on that kind of like that kind of that kind of sound basically. And nobody else does that on. They always use like the game audio or like the
Hmm.
game stuff. So we definitely chose music that was kind of from that era, um, to use on the video. So like, how you kind of like package your event and all those kind of like all those little minor DLs that you don't think mean much. Like I think actually they do
Yeah.
add up to like, what it is. So, trustworthiness and the branding and everything, get that stuff right, because some people are forking out a lot of money, and they need to know that if they turn up, you guys, it's going to be good. So I think that helped a lot as well. Like, just the branding looks so good. And I think once a load of players had committed from abroad and came back and were like, this was cool, it just meant more people were willing to like make that kind of jump. Even the next time we had like Swedish players and stuff turning up. So, you know, for me to think of like people flying from another like country to come and like play Third Strike is just like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree. Developing an identity for your event so that people can remember you and that you can stand out. I mean, just
For
coming from
sure.
the American perspective, I mean that's what got our attention. The branding, Demo's art,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fact that it was
exactly,
so
exactly.
different.
You know,
I mean,
the
it didn't
videos.
even really matter how good you guys were or how good the matches
Yeah,
were.
because
You
we were
know,
awful. You
you
know,
know.
we weren't even that. The English guys were not even that great. But it's like, yeah, I think another thing, even like the commentary was like, you know, you got like the esports commentary. Nobody can
Uh-huh.
swear or say anything risky or whatever. And then, you know, Indy, I'd never even like, I don't think anybody had ever met him from the group before. And like, you know, it was just this guy was like, hey, I'm coming, like I'm Indy. This is what I'm saying. There was like so many people in this group that never ever had a reason to meet up, and it was like, right, we're doing this thing, and Indy turned up and he was like, yo, can I jump on the commentary? I don't even know who let him. I think Demo did. And then like all of a sudden I'm running this event and then somebody's shouting out like, hey, get fucked, like standing up, like chucking headphones around. And I was just like, to be honest with you, I looked at him, I was like, fucking hell, what is up with this guy? Like, you know, and players are moaning, he's putting us off and all this stuff, and like yeah, but you know, 2 days later on Reddit, like somebody's cut up like 2 minutes of all these things that he said and put him into this like highlight reel, and like, you know, that's got 20,000 views on top of the Ryan Hart video, and like everyone was just absolutely, you know, loving it. So just like everything about it kind of just like clicked into place at that time, like, you know. And now it's become famous for the commentary, and even players like were commenting on the video going like, it was annoying as fuck when I was playing, but like now I'm watching this highlight reel back, it's fucking hilarious, you know. So yeah, a lot, you know, Demo and Indy and everything, kind of the planets aligned. You know, Ryan Hart turning up and that, getting that on the front of SRK. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, if it had been another player doing exactly the same thing, I don't think it would have made the front page. But you know, all of those kind of like things coming together was really good. Yeah, the planets definitely aligned.
Yeah. All right. So I think right now is a good time to take a break. So we're gonna take about a 3 minute break. But when we come back, Ant, I want to talk a little bit about the present and future of Gutter Trash, because I know you have some
Sure.
You definitely have some important announcements that you want to make
Yeah, for sure,
on the stream. And also, before we take our first break, just a reminder, guys, for those of you who are in the chat, if you have any questions for Ant, VirtuaFU, just write them in the chat, and we'll get to them in the third segment. So yeah, guys, stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Yo. I'll have some vape. Yeah. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I watched it. I definitely watched that one. Who is Ant's favourite Eurasian hottie?
Alright, guys, we're back with more Mutant XPerience podcast with my special guest tonight. Across from the Atlantic in the UK, VirtuaFU, aka Ant, co-founder of Gutter Trash. And so, we've been talking a little bit about, we've been talking about you as a TO and an organizer, Ant. But you obviously do play still. And so, for those of you who don't know, VirtuaFU Ant, he mains Ken. So, just real quick before we talk more Gutter Trash, where did that come from in terms of just maining Ken
and? Well, I played Ken in quite a lot of the other versions. Like, I didn't in ST. I played Ryu. But I played Ken in like the Alpha ones and the EX Street Fighters, and whenever I played like 4 against my brother, like I'd always choose Ken. So I didn't know really that he was top tier or anything like that, or really anything. So I just kind of like, and my brother was playing him as well, so I just kind of like mirrored what he was doing. So I've played Ken in like quite a lot of games, so yeah, just ended up playing Ken. I normally like play kind of like fireball characters or someone with a DP anyway, so that's really how I ended up playing Ken. I do play a little bit of Ryu as well, but I'm not very good with him. Well, like when I started Gutter Trash, obviously, after the first one, that's when I decided like, right, I need to learn how to play this game.
Uh-huh.
So another reason for like not really playing many other characters was just like I had to play, massive catch up with everybody. So I never really switched. I was just like, right, just stick with Ken for now. So that's kind of like really how I just ended up with playing Ken.
And so, just this recently, tell us a little bit about the event that you guys ran this past weekend.
So yeah, Demo and Howray ran afternoon tea and soiree
Uh-huh.
2, I think, or 3,
Hmm.
which was a 2v2 team tournament.
Hmm.
There was 2 teams for France and then a load of like UK teams, and it had a really weird format that it took about 15 explanations to figure out what was going on. But you do stone paper scissors. The
Uh-huh.
winner then chooses what player of the opposite team goes and what side of the cabinet they use,
Uh-huh.
and then player A plays player A from the team, and
Uh-huh.
then player B plays player B from the team. And if one of you wins, then
Yeah.
player A plays player B again. Oh man, it was
Yeah.
mad confusing. Like,
Yeah.
so
Wasada
yeah,
style. Wasada style. Yeah.
is that what it is? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
first tournament I'd ever done like that. So,
Yeah.
which is that was good fun. It was I didn't because I've never done a team event without teaming with my brother, so it was a bit weird not teaming with him.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I think the French team it was 2 French teams in the grand final,
Uh-huh.
and then 3J and Criminal runner up. I might be wrong with that.
Uh-huh. And so,
Um,
at the event, there were a few exhibitions, and you took part in one of the exhibitions, right? You had a first to 5 with an up and coming third strike player, also using Can. His name is Farhan, I believe.
yeah, Farhan,
Uh-huh.
he's not been playing the game very. I don't even know if he's been playing a year, but
Uh-huh.
I think. Sorry, pardon me. I think he mained Street Fighter 4
Uh-huh.
and came down to Violent City and entered the Third Strike tournament. I really liked it, and then since then he's been playing quite a lot. So yeah, he asked me like the day before if I was up for it, and I was already option selecting excuses saying I was rusty. But no, he's good, man. He's got really good fundamentals. Like you can tell, he's going. He just needs a bit more experience with the game,
Uh-huh.
and I think he'll be quite dangerous. Actually, like I watched him playing a lot of matches against Moon B,
Uh-huh.
the Chun player from France, and he was doing better against him than I was. Like
Uh-huh.
I think me and him went back to back on like 9 or 10 games against Moon B, and I think I lost every single one. And I think Farhan was taking quite a few of his. I don't think he had the majority, but like yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential. And yeah, he asked me if I wanted to do it, so I was like, yeah, I'm up for it.
Uh-huh. So just real quickly, I mean, what's kind of your approach with Ken? I mean, there are a lot of Ken players, obviously, and everyone approaches the character differently. I mean, do you have
Uh,
like a do you have like a specific game plan, or are there things
no,
that you like to do,
no,
or
I have no
no?
game plan. No, I, no, no, I don't. Do you know what? I have strategies for people that I play a lot.
Uh huh.
So I actually have a lot of difficulty against guys I've never played before.
Mhm.
So like Harleen, 3J, Demo, like all those guys, like I try and build up like a catalogue of things in my head that they
Uh
do or
huh.
whatever. So yeah, I normally think I do better against players that I know
Uh
than I
huh.
don't know. And I had a bit of trouble with the last tournament. I've just forgot what everybody did because I haven't played him for ages, and then
Uh
I
huh.
was a bit rusty as well. So yeah, I find playing. I think I prefer longer sets as well,
Uh
like
huh.
rather than like the tournament format of like best of 3, because you
Mhm.
really need to figure out. Maybe I need a proper strat. Maybe that's my problem. I need like a tournament strategy.
Mhm.
I think because I'm like used to playing on like Fight Cave where you just like go on forever in like these really long matches, like it's given me that kind of like comfort of being like, right, I've got like 3 or 4 games to figure out what this guy does.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And then like I'll always look at the score when we finish and I'll be like, well, I won 20 games and he only won 8. So, but like for tournaments, I suppose it's not really that. Maybe I need a tournament strategy. Maybe you're highlighting like my weakness.
Mhm. So I think you won that set, right, this past weekend. 5 to 2,
Uh,
4, 5 to 1, maybe.
5-1, yeah,
That
5-1,
was,
5-1.
I mean, that's a pretty dominant performance. I mean, what did did what did you take away from that set, both from your gameplay and Farhan? Because I know you have a lot of respect for Farhan. He's an up and coming player, and and
I
so
I just think maybe he's just not used to playing me.
uh
I don't know. I'm not that great at like. I'm much more of a like in the moment kind of guy, and I could
huh
never explain to you like why I made that decision. Like,
mhm
I just whatever happens there and then, I'll just if it feels right to do it, I'll just do it. Like, it might not make any sense to anybody or whatever, but I have no idea. Like, yeah, I just think he needs experience. I think he just
mhm
needs to play the game more. There's obviously like I was being really dry because I didn't really know what he was going to
mhm
do, so I wasn't doing anything for ages. I think as you watch the matches go on longer and longer, I get a bit more comfortable with like how he plays.
mhm
But in terms of like, I just think he just needs to play more. I think that's just the best kind of for anybody that wants to play Thirst Try. It's not going to be one of those games that somebody can just tell you one thing and you're going to like. You just need to play. Like,
mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if I told this story yet on stream, but when I was in Japan, uh, I went to GameSpot versus, and supposedly I followed Ryan B's Japan arcade guide saying, okay, go to this arcade on this day. But maybe I read it wrong because when I went there, the only person that was there was Matsukin.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's
um,
sick.
he's I don't think I can play him in casuals ever again. Because
Really? How many
he
games did
is
you play?
oh, we must have played like 50 games.
Right.
But he is the driest. I'm talking about Sahara dry. I mean, this guy's can is just he's not gonna press any more buttons than he has to. I mean, everything is super efficient, but he is so dry.
Yeah.
he's
I, I,
he's but he's
I,
so solid and he's so good though. I mean, all
yeah,
his executions on point. It was very frustrating to play someone that much. You know?
yeah. I think I'd switch between like dry and just doing something just completely off the wall. Like,
uh
um, I don't know why, but no. What actually? One advice I do have for Farhan is that he said he doesn't want to play online, but I think that's a really bad move. Like, um, even though like switching between like Fightcade, Xbox Live, and CPS3 is just the biggest nightmare ever. Like, I've learned so much from playing online that you just can't get that amount of time in on CPS3 in London, because it's normally like everyone's chatting and you come on and you come off. But I mean, like, as I say on Fightcade, it's you versus another guy for like 30 matches if you want, and you can really kind of like work out like what's going on, why did that work, why did that not work, like. I think playing online and playing as much as possible is like, you just gotta like bite the bullet when it comes to adjusting your timing across the three. So like the last tournament, the last soiree, not the last soiree, the one before that, like I didn't play any online like 2 weeks leading up to that. I only played CPS3, but that's just because I didn't want to lose the timing. But I mean, straight after, I'm straight back online. So yeah, that's my advice: is definitely play online. Don't dismiss it. Like, it is horrible sometimes, but like I think you learn a lot just from playing loads of different people.
I think online play is a good tool for certain things. You technical things, practicing some execution things, even habit forming. You know, getting into good habits, stuff like that.
If you want to know the Akuma matchup, just go on Fightcade. Like,
but when you start messing with input lag, it's I don't know. Like we were talking about in break during break, there are some players who can adapt, and some
oh
players who
yeah,
can't, and I'm definitely one who can't.
Exo, the king of lag, like
Is Exo the is he the
undisputed champion, man. Like, the guy, like, he just.
is he the Borg of 3S? He just
I don't understand how he does
he
it. Like,
adapts.
I don't understand how he like lands all this stuff in like so much like frame skipping and like it's impressive. Like that's a skill within itself. Like he's got some next level like fight cade matrix lag
Yes.
like thing in his brain. Like
Kang will add your distinctive features to his collective.
yeah, mate. Honestly, fair play. Much respect. Like
Yeah.
I think if there was a lag tournament, EXO would just win it every time.
So let's turn back to gutter trash. So tell us a little bit about where gutter trash stands now. I know that it's been a while since the last gutter trash, right? I mean, when
Yeah,
was the last
yeah.
gutter trash?
It
Like
was
over a year
over a
ago.
year, pretty much coming up to a year ago. Yeah, so like
Uh-huh.
we always had the heart of gaming, and that was like where we were at. So
Mhm.
um, when the heart of gaming closed, Violent City opened up, so we did one there. But then Violent City kind of like moved out of the venue it was in. So yeah, we were really kind of like stuck in this position of like the last event was so good. Like we had stage, smoke machine,
Mhm.
PA, projector. Like it was
Yeah.
so good that like I just felt, you know, our other options at the time were just a massive step backwards.
Mhm.
And it's like I didn't really want to do another event until we could do something like on that level again.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's why there's been such a long wait. But I've been in talks and we've now secured a venue, um, and the next Gutter Trash has been confirmed, basically.
Great. And when is the next gutter trash?
So the next Gutter Trash is going to be the 18th of November, and there'll also be the standard Friday night, which is the 17th, where we'll do like East v West, maybe some exhibition matches, and just like a kind of like Friday's always a kind of warm up, get to know each other. On the Saturday, we'll be doing the singles and team tournament as normal. I don't know whether we're going to do a 2v2 or 3v3. I imagine it'll probably be 3v3 again. I just need to speak to the others about it, basically.
Mhm. And where is the venue? It's going to be at
It's going to be at XFedX or XFed again. So the same venue we
Okay.
used last time. We're going to be back there.
Great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of details to sort out about it behind the scenes, but it's done now. The date's locked off, and we're looking forward to another event. Um, but yeah, I also wanted to kind of like announce that like I'm not going to be involved in the next Gutter Trash. I'm moving to Hong Kong, so the last
Mhm.
one was my last one, and Howray, George, and Demo are going to be looking after the event. I imagine I'll probably be in the background a little bit, like just helping those guys out a bit. Not on the day, but yeah, I'm the last Gutter Trash is my last one, and this one will be Demo, Howray, and George. But I'm confident in those guys, like, and what they can do. Like they've been doing their own events anyway. Demo's really schooled in it all, so yeah, that would be my last one. Kind of sad to see it go, but I'm happy to see somebody else carry it on.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, you were part of the gutter trash from the beginning, from its inception. So, but it's nice, right? I guess to know that there are other people that are gonna bring it forward and keep it going. And of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah,
obviously,
for
Demo is
sure.
still there. So,
It's amazing to have seen it grown from
uh-huh.
the last one we had was 74 people in the bracket, and the first one we did was 32. So I know those aren't big numbers really in like events terms, but like for how it's grown,
For third
I
strike, it is.
yeah, we've doubled the number, and I really think it's given a lot of reason for people to carry on playing the game or to come into it. As I said earlier, like if there was people playing Virtua Fighter, I'd probably be playing it, but there's not. And it's like if people want to play Third Strike, there's a community there now. There's events. It's worth you putting in that time to do it. So it's I don't want to brag or anything, but I think Gutter Trash has probably helped a lot in the survival of the game in the UK. Without it,
Mhm.
it probably would have fizzled out.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to my last question before we go on break. But how do you see Third Strike? How do you see Third Strike popularity? In the UK right now. I mean,
I
so
mean, I,
I
I
mean,
can
the
only
first Gutter Trash
comment.
was. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can only comment on the last 3 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the scene or what's happening. Like, I don't
Mhm.
want some like old school guy from 2004, like that invented jumping in Third Strike, like hitting me up, like telling me like what's what, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, like healthy from where it was, like no events happening, two people turning up to the Heart of Gaming, 3J almost in tears, like to players, coming from all over Europe now, and new guys coming in all the time. Like, I think it's healthy. From where I started at, it looks healthy. I don't know
Uh-huh.
about what it was like, years ago or whatever, but like, now there's a dedicated load of people. The Facebook group's grown from 140 people when I first there to like 600 now. Like the Gutter Trash Facebook, like page, generates, like I think last year, possibly in the last 12 months, has possibly generated about 1 million views on videos. So altogether across all the videos, I think might be hitting 1 million or 750,000. So like, there's an appetite for it. People want to know. People want to play. This is the one disadvantage I think right now of how we've got it set up, is that it's we do most of our weeklies and smaller stuff at Sendo's place, which is like his private home, so
Mhm.
it's not really like open to the public. So it's like, unless you know us, you're not going to go there unless you know one of us, or I stumbled across it because I just went to the Hog on the same day that 3J and other people were there, and I didn't even go to play Third Strike. I was just playing ST.
Yeah.
So that kind of like open place where people can just come and discover it, I think we don't have that right now. Like, that's the one thing that the Heart of Gaming was good at, was just like random people, just meeting people and being like, hey, we do this, there's a group, come and play this game. People that have come down for other fighting games, whereas like now it's a real kind of like on the weekly thing, it's really kind of closed off. But there's still, from where we were 3 years ago, like it seems healthy. Like it looks like Gutter Trash isn't going to fade off anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing Third Strike pop up as an event, in different, UK FGC majors and stuff like that. And so, clearly you guys have helped keep Third Strike in the minds of a lot of people in
we're,
the UK.
we're we're the hypest guys as well. Like, go to any
Yeah,
FGC event where there's like multiple games going on. We're the guys making the most noise. We're the guys drawing the biggest crowd. It's like, it's the
it's the
most
same thing in
interesting game.
America. It's the same thing in America too. I don't know if I don't want to get too much into this because this is really your time, but the past couple days, the mainstream FGC has been very critical of Third Strike.
Fuck
Uh,
those guys. Look,
and
if there's one
and
thing
it
I've
just
learned,
doesn't.
is
I
do it
just don't.
yourself.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I don't know, but anyway.
The one thing I'll always say is this: is it's like the biggest esports moment, the thing that put Evo on the map, is Third Strike.
Mm,
Yeah, that is the highlight reel of highlight reels.
yeah.
Like, you look at like, not this year but the year before. Like, I watched the highlight reel. It was like the hypest thing was like some Street Fighter 4 players arcade stick breaking in the grand final. And it's like, the next time, it's like the hypest thing is some guy thinking the round's finished early, so he stood up.
Yeah.
It's like, is that what you're presenting to us now? That's the hypest shit, yeah? Like, you've gone
Yeah.
from the parry moment to somebody's arcade stick breaking. Like, that's the most interesting. It's Evo owe a lot to Third Strike, even if they don't want to admit it. Like,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. And so now that you're going to be going to Hong Kong, I mean, are you thinking of maybe getting with the Third Strike scene there, or?
So yeah, I've just come back from Hong Kong. I've only been back
Oh,
like
okay.
3 weeks. So I was out there for 2 months, and I had contact with like 2 players, and I went and met them. The problem with Hong Kong is the arcade that I used to go to was like quite central Hong Kong. It was easy to get to, and even if you were just like out and about, like with your mates or whatever, you could just like walk past this arcade and go and see if anybody was playing. that arcade got rid of the third strike board. The
Oh, that's
only
not.
the only other third strike board now is like 40 minutes away from the center on a train.
Wow.
So it's like that kind of like drop in and just see if some people are playing kind of things like gone. Like it's organization now, and you get there. It's like it's one board. Like there's about 12 people playing on one cabinet. And when I got there, there was like one or two players that just dominated. Like apparently one of them used to live in Cocogen. I don't know how true that is or what, but that's like the rumor. And you know, it's like everybody's just trying to beat him, but like you're waiting for ages. You're not really playing that much. There's no tournaments. There's like no events made. It's just like the only times I ever went down, it was like, hey, we're all going down. We're getting there in like 30 minutes. So it's just like, right, fuck, get on the train, you know. And there was a couple of times they told me that, and it's like, I just can't get there in time, you know. So I'm definitely going to play some First Strike out there. I'd love to do a Hong Kong gutter trash. I would absolutely love to do that.
Oh, wow.
Whether it's viable or not, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's enough boards. I don't know whether or not, you know, I kind of get the feeling that arcades there are like just business guys that like, or triads or gangsters that just like own arcades and just see them as like a money making thing. Mm-hmm. It's like you go up to them and be like, can we run a tournament in here? They're just going to be like, what? Like, no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they'll see the value in community. I don't know whether they'll see the value. I mean, I'm completely speculating. I can't speak Chinese and I have no idea who runs it, but like, that's the kind of vibe that I feel like it might be. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to play out there. There's players, there's a scene.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it just happens that like randomly, I mean, I don't know why there's a third strike board at this arcade, but there is. So yeah, I'm just going to have to go there and play really.
Okay. All right, so I think this is a good time to take our second and final break. But when we come back, we're gonna close out the show. We're gonna answer some of the questions that were asked in the chat, and obviously, everyone's waiting for the return of a certain segment to close out tonight's show, and so we'll definitely get to that as well. But in the meantime, you're watching the Mutant XPerience podcast with VirtuaFU, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Tonight there's something different. The moon is still and
All right, guys, we're back with more Mutant XPerience podcasts with my special guest, Ant, aka VirtuaFU, UK Third Strike player and co-founder of the widely acclaimed Third Strike tournament series, Gutter Trash. So at this point in the show, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the chat and uh, look at some of the questions that people have been asking. So one question in the chat is for you, Ant. Um, who is your favorite Eurasian hottie?
That is a hard question. I mean, I love all the Eurasian hotties, but I've definitely got a sore spot for Eurasian hotties. I'd probably have to go with Misa Campo.
Isa
She's
Campo.
Yeah, she's half Filipino, half Canadian.
Oh my.
Yeah, she's real hot. Yeah, but I mean, that's a hard question, man. Like, there's so many like sick Eurasian hotties.
Wait,
Like,
wait. She's half Filipino. Does that really count as a Eurasian? I mean, aren't Filipinos Pacific Islanders? I mean, I'm half Filipino.
I'd count that as Eurasian for sure.
Really? Well, what's
Yeah,
her name?
yeah, yeah.
Miso Campo?
Misa Campo. Yeah, M-A. I can find her Facebook
Yeah.
and send it to you. Misa Campo.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh man.
She's hot. Oh, well, I can't find her. Where is it? Misa Campo. Here we go.
Yeah. Wow. She is pretty hot. she is yeah.
She's got nearly 2 million followers, and I've got 14 mutuals.
Oh my. Yes. Wow.
14 of my friends have good taste.
This yeah. Okay. I'm showing a YouTube video of her right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, because like I get there's a page on Facebook called Eurasian Hotties. So like every day they post like Eurasian girls basically, and I'm always liking them. And I've had a few people message me and being like thank you for liking those photos every day because you like them, they turn up in my newsfeed, and I can't like the page because my girlfriend would go crazy.
Oh, is your
So,
girlfriend
like,
Eurasian?
Is mine?
Yeah.
I'm single.
Well, wait, you just said you had a girlfriend.
No. Other people hit me.
Other people
and say that. They'll be like, no, because I like them, it turns up in their newsfeed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I did a status like saying like I like Eurasian hotties, so you don't have to, and like so many guys started liking it. Like, so I think there's quite a few people. I do it for the team. Like, I like it every day, so that everybody with girlfriends can still get to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, if you're ever in charge of a really large fighting game event, hopefully you can get some of these Eurasian hotties to cosplay at these events.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'll just spend 90% of the budget on Eurasian hotties.
Yeah. So another thing, for those of you who don't, who obviously don't know VirtuaFU, Ant, you're also a DJ, right?
Yeah. I'm a DJ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so tell us a little bit about, just real quickly, how'd you get into DJing?
So I just used to watch like videos of people scratching, and also an album called Dr. Octagon, which was like Cool Keith, Danny Automator, and DJ Cuba. And I used to it was like trip hop album. I think it's like 2000 or 1999, around that era. And like I just listen to that, and I'd just be like, the noises this guy's making is like crazy. And I've always been into music, like always used to have my headphones on me, like was always had a Walkman, like, and I wanted to know how to make those like weird noises with records. So, I had like a part-time job after school, and I'd saved up a load of money and just bought some turntables, and then I just started collecting records and just got more and more into doing that, like, and it just kind of went from there, really. Like, it was all I did for hours and hours and hours a day. Like, that's why I stopped playing fighting games, because I was like, no, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do this shit. So as soon as I got my decks, like, fighting games just computer games just fell off the map. for me. And yeah, I just started getting better. People started taking notice of me. Started putting like mixes up on the internet, and like
Mhm.
people would just hit me up. Like this is before Facebook. This is like when it was like internet forums. There was quite a lot of big music ones,
Mhm.
and I just used to put mixes on there, and people just hit me up, be like, "Hey, look, I've got a party in 2 months in like Belgium.
Mhm.
Like we'll pay for your travel and give you some money. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like I definitely. What? I get to. Someone's going to pay me to go to another country, so." Just started out like that, really. Just started doing like a few more gigs abroad and stuff, and landed a few residencies and stuff like that. Like just kind of snowballed. So yeah, that's how I got into that.
Have you ever thought of, sort of using the FGC to kind of, promote yourself in terms of your DJ stuff, or
Absolutely not. No, like
because I know there are a lot of FGC events here in America where they like to run after parties, and they always and they always
yeah.
and they always hire DJs and stuff. So I didn't know if you were doing any of that or.
FGC people and the kind of people that go to like the parties I DJ at couldn't be any
They
more polar opposite. Like
oil and water. They can't. They don't mix.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
no. Yeah, a lot of people like that I tell I run Street Fighter tournaments to just like give me like the weirdest look. Like they don't get it. They're like, what? Like a lot of people don't know. Like yeah, they
Uh-huh.
have no idea. They're just like they think it's weird or like what losers do or weirdos. Like and to a degree, like yeah, I'm a weirdo. Like
Uh-huh.
like so. It just happens to be that you think I'm not because I can spin some vinyl, like.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. After parties and FGC, I just think it would probably be like the most awkward school disco you've ever been to with no girls.
Well, there are a lot of women. There are a lot more women now that go to FGC events.
Really?
I don't know, maybe not in the UK, but I don't know. We like I said before, this past weekend, Defend the North, which is a major that Andy City of Brass from Team Pi runs. You know that just got that just wrapped up this past weekend, and
Right.
I remember for those of you who follow the channel and were wondering why I was streaming SF4 in Mortal Kombat XL. Well, the reason is because it was basically a favor for Andy, City of Brass, and I had never I mean obviously I've watched 4 before, but streaming Mortal Kombat was really interesting because I don't know anything about the game. But there are a lot of women now. I mean the female to male ratio has definitely changed, at least here in America. I don't know
Uh,
how it is in the UK, but I
Absolutely
guess.
dead out. The only girl is like Jess. I don't even. I just see her more as like one of the boys than I do like a
Okay.
girl.
Well, I'm sure she'll appreciate
Not
that.
looks wise, you know what I mean? I'm just saying like.
Yeah. So
But
we'll see if there are
I
any
saw
other.
I
Oh, go
saw
ahead.
a video of like one of the Evo after parties, and it
Uh
looked
huh.
like the worst thing you could ever have gone to. Like it looked really bad.
Yeah. So let's see if there are any other questions in the chat. Let's see. There's a question for me. Who's who's my favorite heel in the WWE right now? So for those of you who don't know, I watch pro wrestling. No shame. I follow the WWE quite religiously. Shout outs to the DWO. Um, my favorite heel right now. I don't know. For those of you who are uninitiated, heel means bad guy. Um, I don't know who my favorite heel is. Probably Jinder Mahal. Probably
I,
Jinder Mahal.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight?
Oh, Mayweather.
Mayweather, yeah.
It'll be like a really super boring fight. McGregor might actually get DQ'd. I don't know. We'll see.
You reckon he's gonna get
Gender is a
DQ'd?
Gender is a face. um,
Why? You
I
reckon
don't
he's
know.
just gonna kick
I
him?
feel like McGregor's gonna I feel like McGregor's gonna be really frustrated, at the rules and stuff, and and I feel like McGregor's just gonna karate kick him or something, or throw an elbow or something at Mayweather. I feel like Like if it's like for real, if this isn't scripted or anything.
Okay. Do you find WWE more entertaining than MMA?
No, I think they're equally entertaining for different reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's just yeah, it's weird. It's you can't really compare the two. It's like one's a sport and the other's theater. And you don't go to either of those for the same reasons.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, and then there's another question for me. When will I move to the UK? Well, I really do want to move to the UK. I don't know.
You're a teacher, yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I'd love to live, like, probably in northern England. I think I'd
What?
have yeah, probably like in the Lake District. Maybe even near where, like, the Shen lives. Kind of like in the
Oh my god, you don't want to be out there, seriously, Jesus
in the
Christ.
sticks.
Shout outs to
know.
the Shen, by the way, but yeah, like,
Shout outs to the Shen.
yeah,
Alright.
man, like, definitely don't want to live out there.
Alright. So, I guess, the time has come, Ant. The
Okay.
the moment everyone's waiting for. It's been. I'm not sure when the last Mutant XPerience podcast aired. It must have been like sometime in April or something. So it's been about 3 or 4 months, and so the time has come for everyone's favorite segment on the Mutant XPerience, and that's pack it up.
When do I press play?
I'll let you know when the press play.
Okay.
Passes, yeah, wrong show. So, for those of you who are watching for the first time, what I do is I scour the internet for some of the more unique examples of Third Strike gameplay on YouTube. Lowlights, if you will. And so these are all videos that came out in this past week. And so basically there are 5 nominees. And, once we show the video, I want you to tweet me at MutantXP and let me know which one was your favorite Pack It Up nominee. So, I guess, without further ado, are you ready, Ant?
I'm ready. Tell
Alright.
me when.
So, you can go ahead and play it now. Just make sure
Okay.
you mute it. And so, without further ado, guys, here's...
Oh,
Oh, wait, let me...
yeah, I'm in.
Hold
I'm
on.
in.
Yeah, just let me go ahead and just open up my little script here. All right. So I guess without further ado, here is the latest edition of Pack It Up. All right. Okay, guys, pack it up. Nominee number 1. So this is actually from the last afternoon tea and soiree. So I've heard respecting your opponent, but this is pretty ridiculous. So watch as this Ken player casually strolls up to his opponent for the throw. That must have been like the full screen. Look at that.
He's only 12 years old, that player.
Oh, is he? Oh, awesome. Nominee number 2. Remember, training mode isn't just for beginners. Judging from this massive drop at last week's Defender North, e.g. Chris G could use a few reps with Yang's most basic combos. It's funny because I asked him why Super came out and he said, well, I was mashing it. Nominee number 3. There's nothing wrong with using meaties in Third Strike to throw off your opponent. Just don't meaty with EX Fireball. Especially when your opponent has Ganesian. That was a pretty sick parry, and then kind of pissed it all the way. I mean, what was he going for? Anyway, nominee number 4. This Hugo player manages to stun his opponent with the drop kick, only to follow up with nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean absolutely nothing.
That was funny.
Were those the Grim Reapers too? Wow. And then last but not least, nominee number 5. This is probably one of the worst uses of Ganesian I've ever seen. Watch as this young player activates Ganesian only to let his opponent land in a beefy jumping combo. He ends up losing the round.
Oh.
Wow. I've seen some pretty bad Ganesians. This has to take the cake. So yeah. Alright, so those are your I So there are your 5 nominees. 1 through 5. Pick your favorite and let me know which one you think deserves this week's award. What do you think, Ann?
I'm loving number 4 just for the pure 3 times in a row no spinning pile driver.
Yeah. The first one could be argued as a highlight instead of a low light.
What the fuck?
I guess it depends.
Yeah,
so,
dash up, jump back.
Yeah. Alright, guys, so once again, tweet me which one you think was your favorite at Mutant XP. So, once again, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Can I just say one more thing before I go?
Yeah, sure, definitely. We got some time.
Yeah, cool. I just want to say, like, massive, obviously, because I'm leaving Gutcha, I just want to say, like, a massive thank you to everybody that's come down to the events over the last 3 years and supported, especially anyone that's come from outside the UK, and also anybody that's helped out. Like, it's, although I've been kind of like there in the middle of it all, like, there's been loads of people around there outside of it all, like, helping as well. And just want to say that, like, if you want to do an event, just do it. Go ahead, do it. Take the risk. Like, put it on. You can't build anything unless there's something happening. So, like, if you ever need any advice or help or whatever, then just, like, hit me up on Facebook or whatever. Like, I've got a decade of event knowledge that I'm glad to, like, help anybody, like, set up an event or whatever. So, like, yeah, just give it a go. Like, nothing's going to happen. Like, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, that's just my 2 cents for the end.
Oh, definitely. Amen to that. And so once again, guys, remember that the next Gutter Trash, what volume are you guys on? Like 8? I think this is the 8th Gutter Trash or 7th Gutter Trash?
8 now, I think. We're on 8, yeah.
Okay, so the next Gutter Trash is going to be November 18th?
November 18th, yes. At XFed, which is East London.
Mm-hmm. And how soon can we expect, like, like a website or stuff like that?
I think the trailer is mainly done. I think we're just waiting on the art assets from Demo, basically. So I imagine in the next couple of weeks, sign-ups will be open, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So once again, guys, thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight for the Mutant XPerience. Thank you again, Ant, for being a guest. And
thanks for having me on.
Definitely. And so once again, guys, remember Gutter Trash, the next Gutter Trash, November 18th. And so before we go, I just wanted to remind everyone of some events that are coming up soon. Obviously, we have TFC that's coming up September 28th to October 1st. Shout outs to the SoCal crew, the Boiler Room. I don't know if they still stream anymore, but hopefully they'll get back on that. Remember Lost Ark video games every other Thursday. They run Third Strike Thursdays, and so it's definitely good to see them streaming. Shout outs to James and Violent City, obviously the host of the next Gutter Trash. And so once again, guys, thanks for watching the Mutant XPerience. If you have any questions for me or Ant, definitely tweet them to me or email them. I'll make sure I forward it to them. And then Summer Jam, that's the event that's coming up pretty soon, August 11th to 13th. There's a $250 pot bonus, and so definitely check that out. All right, guys. So once again, Ant, thanks for coming on the show.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
And I'll see you guys next week. Next week, I have a very special guest. I have a representative from the Dubai Third Strike scene, Musa, who's going to be coming on the show next Thursday. It's going to be a little early because of the hour difference. So I think we're going to start the podcast around 1 p.m. But definitely check out the announcements for that. And so once again, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. This is Mutant XP signing off, and I'll see you guys next week.